Hi there, Caleb Lofton here. Again, just another tutorial. Over the weekend, a company which I contract for ran into some issues with their server, and basically what was happening is that they were pegging their CPU, and this particular company runs their services through AWS, and if you have enabled monitoring when you go into AWS, you can see in there the CPU usage, but it doesn't tell you what it's going to. This is a very quick recap on what I did for them. Essentially, I logged onto the server, which we have here. I jumped into htop because I like htop, and this here showed me, it's not right now because I've resolved the issue, but it showed me that there was a process which was absolutely pegging the CPU. And all 8 cores were being just totally slammed. And it was via Postgres. There was a Postgres statement which was absolutely pegging it. So F3 inside htop allows you to search, and then you just type in what you're looking for. So I'm going to type in Postgres, and that should show me this, and that's fine. When you have child daemons looking for different things, F3, if I can cycle through, there we go, I want to cycle through. So just having a look to see if I can show you an example of any query that may actually currently be running. What ended up happening was a select statement was, I don't know, it was hanging, and it showed up in here. It showed up as part of, I was able to search for Postgres. Actually, it wasn't Postgres, it was the username. TV Postgres. Yeah, here we go. So you can see idle here. So what was happening is instead of having idle, it had select. And there was like 8 of these, 7 or 8 of these, and they were just totally slamming the server. Which then suggested to me that I needed to go, so I just used screen there to flick to different shell sessions. I know if you're a hardcore Linux person, I know screen is actually no longer being worked on. I love it, I use it. You can still install it. Please pardon the wind. It's very windy where I am. So then I went into Postgres and then connect to the database. And then this particular command is the one that was used. I didn't come up with this. I grabbed this. I just Googled and grabbed this. And effectively what it does is it goes in, it has a look for a query which is being run, which has a PID that you specify. So I added the PID because if I didn't, and I'll do this selectively here, limit 5, it gives you everything, it gives you all the queries, right? So when you select the PID, when you specify where, then it allows you to go back. If we have a look at the shell, not that shell, the other shell, which shell? That shell? Yeah, so htop, I should call it htop, naughty man. Htop. So when you see the PID over here on the left hand side, 11945. So if we go back, not that one. So if we drop out of that and then we go paste and say 11, that I'm going to split this here, and we're going to jump to htop on this one, and then if you don't know, what I've done is I went Control A, Shift S, that split the screen in half, and then I'm using Control A to jump around, and Control A, Shift A to rename, and Control A, quote mark, so double quotes to jump to this head menu. So yeah, paste, and now we're going to chuck our PID in here, which is 11945. And because it's idle, okay, no, it is. It did pull up something there. So here we've got something's running. It's trying to do a select count, distinct on subscription accounts, and you can go through and you can read this. But effectively, what I did was I had a look at this, and I went, okay, this here is searching for, and I rewrote the query in pseudocode because I'm not personally like super mad skilled when it comes to SQL. So I needed to write it into pseudocode so I could work it out in my brain because I don't speak SQL. So what we're doing is we're looking for a count of distinct subscription IDs. We're doing a bunch of lookups, getting different data. If we go to where, we don't have a where. Okay, so this is just getting a count. Why is it even? See, this is weird. It's going and it's distinctly getting a bunch of columns, but then it's just doing a count. So you don't really need to. Whatever query is, whatever Django query has been called in this instance is unnecessarily calling extra columns. From the database's point of view, it's probably not going to make a huge difference, maybe a couple of milliseconds. What we were doing, what the query was doing, however, it was doing a lookup, and there was a particular text string in here that I was able to search in PyCharm, which is the IDE that they use. Using PyCharm, I was able to search the code base for that particular string, and I was able to find out where in the code this query was being run from, and therefore I was able to comment that out, restart the server, restart Postgres, and that fixed the problem. So once you know, so you look in htop or top if you want, you find out the PID, you type that code here. So it's a select PID. You don't have to have the database now. I just literally copied this from Stack Overflow. So pg underscore stat underscore activity is going to be the Postgres table where activity is kept. And then I just chucked on my where clause so I could locate it via PID. And then you need to work out what the result actually means. In this case, we're doing a count of subscription accounts. I don't even think we're joining. Doesn't look like we are. Which is fine. And then once you know what the query is doing, you go back another step, go look at your code base, find what code would be running that, and then do something about it. So in our case, it was to comment out the methods that were calling it or change them, and then restart the server and also restart Postgres. So I'll just disconnect. That's not going to do anything. We'll jump to bash. No, don't jump to that one. Which bash? It was this bash here. So to restart Postgres, what I do, because I'm super lazy, service post tab, Postgres tab, there we go, Postgres restart, and then I go home and I go sudo, because I know it's not going to work if you're not root. So always sudo when you're doing a service restart, unless you're root, and you should never be root, so don't do that. And then yeah, that restarts it, and whatever your server's running, you can restart it. For us, it's Django, and it runs in site supervisor, so that command is, what? That is not what I wanted to do. Come back. Sudo supervisor ctl, and then status to show what's running, and then restart. So it was fmtb 1.8 restart, which I'm not going to do because this is production. So yeah, but that's it. That's pretty much it. Nice and easy. Once you know what you're looking for. So if you have a Linux server and you don't know where the resource is going, top or htop. So I'll just show you top as well, because top normally comes native, I believe, with most Linux, not Linux, Nix, so Unix type distributions. I like htop. I like the colors. Yeah, why do I like colors on a command? I don't know. I do, and I just find it easier to use, probably because I've been using it for a long time. And like here in top, we can see the unicorn workers are doing stuff, and up the top we've well, I've done it. So we F6 to sort by, and then we're going to go CPU. So there we go. We've got some unicorn workers. Beta. I should totally change that tab. It's not beta anymore. I don't know what Unicorn's doing because I know Unicorn's the web server. I know exactly what that's doing. It's serving requests, which is good. That's what it should be doing. And that's it. Just track it down. It's just very simple. Each step, like what's doing what. Do you have high CPU? Go find out what's doing that. The other thing that I did as well was I just checked the disk usage, which if you're on Nix, you can do with, I think it's du-h, no, df-h, yeah. So -h just makes it human readable, otherwise you end up with lots of numbers, and if you're not a robot, having it human readable makes it a lot easier. As you can see, our udev, was that udev? No, our disk label root fs, whatever that is about 50% usage. That's because of the error log that was generated by this issue, the 16 gig error log. Thankfully, didn't have to comb through that. Anyway, so just going back over, because I'm rambling now, basics of troubleshooting server. Find out the general idea of what's wrong. Is it connection? No, if you can connect to the server, it's not connection. Is it CPU? Is it RAM? And then htop will tell you what's using what. And then you just another step back. Okay, what's causing that? And then another step back. What do I do about it? Where's it coming from? That's it. I hope this has been useful. So again, just going over it, it's htop screen, which is fantastic for jumping around inside different shells, and using Postgres and that command, which was select, and the query is going to be the big thing there. PID and query, probably the ones you want to do. If you run a server that has multiple databases or users, then obviously database and username are going to be useful. I happen to know for a fact that they're redundant in this case, but it doesn't matter. And then from pg_stat_activity. For Postgres database, I'm sure MySQL will have its own, as will SQL Server. All right, thank you. Okay, left one.